What's up, guys? Mitch Pelkey back with another episode of Pelk Talk, baby. Today I'm joined by fellow podcaster, YouTuber, and Division I athlete Jordan McCabe. You guys probably recognize Jordan from being on the news.
He's a 12-year-old shooting star. The shots rain down from all over the floor.
And The Ellen Show.
You started playing basketball, like playing around with the basketball at what age?
It was about 5 years old, but basketball's been a part of my life. Ever since the day I was born, I always had a basketball in my crib.
Jordan currently plays Division I basketball at West Virginia. Jordan also has a YouTube channel called Jordan McCabe and a podcast called Subject to Change. It's really good. You guys should listen. Jordan's drive and work ethic is crazy, and he's got a little sense of humor to him. Might be a stand-up comedian one day. Also, listen as a podcast at the Apple Podcast app, Google, and Spotify. Now, enjoy. What's up, guys? Mitch Pelkey here, back with another episode of Pelk Talk. Today, joined by fellow podcaster, YouTuber, and Division I athlete, Jordan McCabe. What's up, Jordan?
What's going on, man? You killed that intro. I suck at intros.
It's all about that energy, though. How you doing today?
I'm good, brother. I'm really good. Just got back from my girlfriend's place in northern West Virginia. Now I'm back in my studio. This is it right here.
White walls, baby. How long you and your girl been dating for?
Me and Olivia have been together for two years this November.
Okay, 2 years. I like that.
Yeah.
Like that. Let's not waste any time. Let's hop straight into it. Obviously, playing D1 ball at West Virginia, talented on the court. You know, I want to hit on more like the building your brand part. You have a podcast. You have a YouTube channel. You know, how did you kind of get into making videos on that channel?
Oh, man. So, like we were talking about earlier, like I have ADD for sure. It's not officially diagnosed, but I can diagnose.
Self-diagnosis.
Yeah, dude, I can't focus for anything. So I have to have like anywhere between like 8 to 10 things going on at once. I've been like that my whole life. And then when I got to college, like I feel like there's this time where you're getting to college, and especially as athletes, we get so like, I don't know, sports centric, where in high school, yeah, basketball has always been what my world revolves around. But like in college, you can get almost too serious, and then you lose like who you are as a person and personality. So with podcasting, I started mine 2 years ago. The date's coming up. So about 2 years ago. No, I think I'm just over a year now. But anyways, did that, and then I started my YouTube a couple months ago, just trying to grow that. I don't know, like I said, gives me different irons in the fire.
No, I like that. What would you say is like one of your favorite type of videos to film? You know, I was watching the kind of the room tour of yours, and I just like that because it's just so natural, just you and your boys like doing it around.
Yeah, no, I like those. I like videos that are just, you know, like you said, natural and just me, where it's not scripted. I don't know. Vlogs are fun, but they're difficult. People don't get it. Like,
the stress.
Even somebody, yeah, it's stressful, dude. Anything you say, you're like, well, is that funny? Will people like even like that? So, sorry. Jesus, COVID. I mean, I don't got it. Anyways, you know, vlogging has been something. Jesus Christ, let me get water. I don't smoke. I swear to God. All right, here we go. Talking, you know, vlogs are fun, but they're stressful. I like collabing, like with people, and I just started doing that. I got a vlog coming out with a guy named Geo Masters. He's like an extreme, I think he calls himself an extreme sport athlete. So he just like jumps off things and just chases adrenaline, which is so cool, because I would love to do that, but I have a career to think about a little bit, and his career is doing that. So we just did a collab video. I don't know. I watch everybody from Dobrik to, you know, Logan Paul to, you know, Goggins, Nick Bear Fitness. I don't know if you know who that is. You know, I watch them all, and I try to emulate everything, and they just motivate me, especially like a Nick. I mean, I don't know. I love it.
No, that's sick. And kind of going off that, you in the podcast game as well. How did you get into that?
Like everybody else, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think I'm gonna I'm gonna just create this studio I have and just make it a shrine of him. Get like a metal or like a bust of Joe Rogan's face like right here. But I listen to all his stuff. Listen to all his stuff growing up. Starting with like comedy in the UFC, like that's where I like knew who he was, and then the podcast blew up for him, and I've been following him ever since. So that's how it started. I got the idea. I knew some people, connections, and I just started filming. We're, just at 20 episodes now on my podcast, Subject to Change, but shameless plug. But anyways, so we're about to announce something pretty big with the podcast. There's going to be a big change to it, and hopefully, we can start really climbing charts, because that's the goal right now.
Yeah, and on Subject to Change, obviously interviewing your boy Tyler Hero, other guys Taco Falls and Andre Drummond. How kind of cool has that been for you to connect with these different people?
Dude, it's been crazy. I started it going back, like reasons why I started it, not only just to have fun and use my personality for, something that like I can always look back on. I also thought like, let me do something where I can constantly be learning, because I feel like Joe Rogan's always bringing people on. He might bring on the funny guests. He has Bill Burr come on and he's hilarious, but then he'll have Neil deGrasse Tyson will come on and he'll learn about stuff that he had no idea going into the podcast. And he's just this like memory bank. He always says, I'm not smart. I just remember what smart people say. So that's what I try to do. That's one of my favorite Joe Rogan quotes, which is hilarious, but true.
No. And on Subject to Change, who's kind of been your favorite guest?
We've done 18 episodes on Subject to Change, and my favorite so far, it's tough. That's a tough one. But the last, it's hard not to pick the last one we just shot with Alex Bazell. He might not be the most, like like we brought Mikey Williams on, and he was great, and he's got 2 million followers, and he's a freak, right? But, Alex is this like world-renowned trainer. He's Trae Young's trainer. But the biggest reason that I wanted to get him was we did it before 8/24 Kobe Day, and he was tight with Kobe because he trained Gigi. He trained Gigi like all the way up through, in the last like 2 years of Kobe's life, Alex was with him like every day. And I met Alex through, I worked out with him when I was out in LA 2 years ago, and we've been.
So you still in high school?
Yeah, we've been tight ever since that. I was in like an all-star game in Long Beach, and while I was out there, I had a few days to spare, and I knew he was out there, and I'd never met him, but I just hit him up and said, let's get a workout in. So ever since then, relationships have been great with Alex.
There you go. So going back to Subject to Change, you said kind of off air that Overtime runs that, and they own that. How did they kind of come to you with that opportunity and idea?
That's the thing. Like when I started it, I knew I had connections with Overtime. I knew that they're a great company. And they do things really well, but I still went to them and said, look, I want your guys' help. I want to work with you, but at the end of the day, I want this to be my podcast. Yeah. Like, I don't want it to be, taken over and overrun with, you got to do this or say this or plug that. Because I want it to be natural. Like, I don't want people to feel like they're being sold something. I want them to feel like you're just part of the Subject to Change community. So, that's what they did. And like I said, they were so compliant with that, and Overtime is so cool, and a company that's, been cutting edge of the media for, years for sure in the sports world. So
long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It worked out really well.
There you go. So obviously both of us do want athletes, and we kind of talked a little bit about this off air. How important do you think it is for college athletes to build their brand while they're in college playing their sport?
I think it's up to you as like a person. Like, if your personality's built for it, do it. But there's a lot of people, like, I couldn't watch or listen to or whatever, and that's okay. I mean, we need accountants, we need lawyers, we need all this stuff. But I don't know. I think brand building is big, but I don't think people who put a ton of time in mentally are gonna, like, if you have to put a bunch of
in the long run.
Yeah, if you got to put a bunch of thought into, like, what can I do that's entertaining? Like, it should just already be there.
Come natural.
Like, you know what I mean? For me, it was like basketball base, but let's branch off and do videos with other people, start a podcast, do this kind of stuff. Like, get out of my comfort zone. If you're not used to getting out of your comfort zone, or if you don't like that, I mean, it's cool. Like, it's all right. Play Call of Duty and don't stream on Twitch and just chill. Like, it's fine. Like, some of my best friends are people I play COD with all the time. And, I don't think it's for everybody, but if you're going to do it, like, go balls to the wall. Cause it is fun. It is fun. Like, trying to build something. That's just always how I've been wired. I don't know.
Yeah, just never kind of taking a moment down. Kind of switching gears here. Do you think college athletes should make money with his or her sport?
I love this question. My favorite thing. I've wrote 100 different essays, all pretty.
Yeah.
Because I'm in sport management, dude. I'm a sport management major, and every time they need a 4-page paper, I'm like, all right, bet I'm just going to talk about why athletes, should be compensated. Now, that doesn't necessarily give my answer away. Like, I think we should, this name, image, likeness, this deal that should be passed in January.
Yeah.
You will find me on the steps of the NCAA if it doesn't get passed, because it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You shouldn't be allowed to tell somebody that you're not allowed to be an entrepreneur. Like, a med school student, it isn't, just because they're at a high level, like, athletes, the med school doesn't tell them you can't start a small tech startup from your garage at home and make money on it. And even though it's small, the med school doesn't do that. So yeah. NCAA, I don't feel like should be able to tell anybody. Like, there was that whole lawsuit with the kid. I don't know if it's Destroying or who it is.
Yeah, UCF football. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the football, and they take away the scholarship, they do all this stuff, and I don't think that's right. Do I think we should be paid from the universities? No, I don't think. I think that takes away from, I don't know, the allure of college sports, because it's not professional sports, and people love college sports because we do it for West Virginia or Ohio State. In your case, we do it for the state.
You rep the brand, yeah.
We rep their brand, whatever, and I think that's how it should be. And there's no way to fairly compensate, the starting quarterback to somebody on the rowing team.
Yeah.
And they bust their just as much, and they work so hard to do what they do, whether it's rowing or whether it's football or volleyball or, cross country. It doesn't matter. These are all athletes who dedicated their lives to do it. So to tell somebody, like, you can only be, compensated this, you can't pay everyone equally, because we bring in different amounts of money. And that's just the hardcore, that's Coors cold hard facts right there for you. It is what it is.
No, but that is the truth. Like, obviously, like, if athletes started to make money, like, you as a basketball player should make way more money than me as a lacrosse player. And that's just because basketball is a way more popular sport than lacrosse. You guys get more fans. You guys generate way more money. So it'll be really interesting when that law kind of goes into effect. But kind of on the flip side, do you think college athletes should be able to make money on YouTube?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, like I worked, hours upon hours, and still do, from the time I was, 5 years old, and my dad put a ball in my hand, to now. And I didn't realize what was going on, but, my personal image and brand was being created and molded, and I wasn't even thinking about it. But to say, once again, to try to tell somebody they're not allowed to go out and create something solely based on the fact that they can make money off it, I just don't see the logic behind it. I know it's got to be tied in It's got to be tied into the whole big lawsuit about like NCAA football, the video game.
Yeah.
You know, when they went away from all that, it's got to be tied in somehow there. But I mean, I just don't get it. It's a new age. I mean, with social media, with YouTube, with Twitch, with TikTok, with Insta, it's time for
It's time for a change.
You know, it's time for change and reform in the NCAA. And I really hope they do it, because from what I've seen in terms of, you know, people in my circle, like sending me what's going to be in this 2020 reform or 2021 reform. It all sounds great. It gives freedom back to the players. There's a players association. It's the right thing to do. And I really hope they do it.
No, I'm right there with you. I'm excited, and I just can't wait for the thing to be passed. But now let's hop into some basketball talk. So obviously, at a young age, being in the spotlight, you know, being on the news, being on Ellen at a young age, how did that kind of change your life?
I don't know. It probably made me a little goofier than everybody else, just because I was free-spirited when I was younger. But basketball was like my niche. And then going on, you know, Ellen, God, there's so many jokes I could pull right there, but I'm gonna leave them in the back.
You ever look back and you're like, God, like you had the braces going, you had like the baggy shorts. Like you ever look back and like kind of goon on yourself, or no?
Yeah, I was a cornball, dude. I came out. This is what people don't realize is I came out the first time I went on the Ellen DeGeneres show. She asked, or not she, because she doesn't run it like behind the scenes, but they asked, what song do you want me to play when you walk out? You got a walkout song, right? So at 11 years old, I'm like play the Dougie for me. So I walked out and I was like hitting it. And I was like, oh my parents were probably in the back like, oh my, like he does realize there's 1 million people plus watching right now.
Yeah.
And I look like an idiot, but it's okay. Like
like look back now, it's like so funny. Like you wouldn't really want it any other way.
Dude, it's so funny. It's so, and it got me used to like, one thing that my life leading up to now has prepared me for is like all the hate, like all the crazy things. But I mean, it's pretty simple. If there is no hate coming in, you're not doing something right, or you're not big enough to draw the attention of them. I mean, you gotta do something that generates positivity and negativity, and then keep it pushing.
Yeah. So down the road, let's say you have some kids and they play basketball. Would you want them to kind of have that same exposure at a young age, or no?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've never been asked that. You gotta be mentally tough, and you know, I'm all for, you know, my kids down the road being mentally tough. But I think it just depends on who I'd have to just really be around them. I'd have to know. My father knew that I was in some way or another, you know, built mentally for hatred, for backlash, for whatever it may be. He didn't see all this happening, but there's just something about specific people who can deal with it and who can't. Like, I won't want my kids going through some of the things I did. I mean, I reclassified my 7th grade year. When I moved from Seattle back to Wisconsin, I did 7th grade in both states.
Okay.
And that was something that at the time, a lot of basketball players were doing at my age, like Marvin Bagley, you know, guys who are in the league right now, who were huge at the time, were doing it. And when I did it, now it's in small town Wisconsin where everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows everybody. And now it's like, oh, this McCabe kid, you know, he's cheating. He went back a year, blah, blah, blah. Even though when you're a freshman, you're playing 4 years up no matter how old you are. Yeah. So, you know, there was definite backlash there. You know, you had student sections chanting crazy stuff, you know, almost fights breaking out in parking lots. I mean, there were some things I would prefer my kids not go through, but I mean, personally, I'm glad I went through it, and my dad gave me the decision and the power to make that decision when I was in 7th grade, and he told me what might happen, and everything that he said did. But we thought that was the best decision for me. So, yeah.
You know, looking back, are you kind of glad your pops kind of gave you that option? Because, you know, for me, I did kindergarten twice, so basically in the same boat. that
No.
you are, but like growing up, being one of the oldest guys in your class, like that's the best feeling ever. Like
Right.
I'll definitely do that to my kids. Are you kind of glad that your pops kind of gave you that decision?
Yeah. No, I think it's important on a lot of different levels, and not only like an athletic level, but a maturity standpoint.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though I still have like a 14-year-old brain, and that's my maturity level, but it did help in a lot of different ways. It really did. It gives you opportunities down the road in terms of college. You can reclass back up into the grade you originally were. You can stay. A lot of people don't know the ins and outs of reclassification, but I would 100% do that to my kids if, athletics was something that they wanted to pursue. So we'll see.
So attending a small high school in Wisconsin, do you kind of ever get that feeling that you need to maybe transfer to a private school or play at a better basketball school to kind of see the best talent?
Yeah, here, I'll do this. I'm going to look right into the camera. If there's a kid out there right now and he's watching this, and a homegrown kid like myself, and he's at the level where you got prep schools, private schools, whatever, schools that aren't even schools, they're just gyms that you sleep in, and they're coming after you and asking you should transfer here. There's better competition here. We'll get you ready for college. Do not do it. Don't do it. I am so against everything that is prep basketball. I think, in high school, it doesn't matter if you go to a prep, because at least in the basketball world, AAU is where you're going to get your college exposure.
Yep. Same in lacrosse world.
So leave it alone. The travel stuff is where now play on a shoe circuit. That's what I will also tell you, because other than that, you're not going to get the exposure that you would. But in terms of the whole prep school type thing, at least as a basketball player, I grow up in a small town of Kaukauna, Wisconsin, and I love to death every single person that's ever been through there. My family's from there. I got to play 4 years and bring 2 state championships back home. Have bonfires and cornfields and do everything I got to do and dream about with my buddies that I grew up with. There's nothing better than that.
Better, yeah.
Go to some shack in Florida that they literally threw together and put a bunk bed, and like you do online school, which means you're not doing anything. And that's your like college prep year. Like screw that. Just stay the course, play in front of the people that have supported you all the way up through. Best decision I ever made was not going to, an academy or a prep school or anything. And I had opportunity and people pretty much constantly. And we sat down as a family and talked about it, like Sunrise Christian, all these, the places that I looked at were good places. They're not all, shacks that aren't even schools and stuff. I shouldn't say that, but there's some of them like that. And, Oak Hill, Sunrise Christian, Huntington Prep, I had opportunities to go play there, but like I said, stay home, take all your stuff seriously when it comes to AAU time, but there's nothing better than running out in front of 2,000 of your like closest friends, family, people from your hometown. There's nothing better.
No, it's the truth too. And for the lacrosse world, it's kind of the same. Like you're getting looked at by travel ball in the summer tournaments, coaches lined up on the sideline. And I've had the same issue, going into high school for that freshman sophomore year, you get schools reaching out, hey, come to this prep school, come to that prep school. But at the same time, it's like, I can't leave my boys that I've been with forever. Like I can't do that. And then people that go will be like, yeah, well, I'm so close with your hometown boys. No, you're not. Don't sit here and tell me you're still close with boys and you don't even see them. Like you only see them a couple times a year. So I always look back on my decision, like going to a small public school in Northern Virginia, man, I'm glad I did that. My core group of guys, 7 guys that I love to death, and we wouldn't be as close if I didn't do that. So I'm in the same boat as you, man. I love that stuff. Here's a great soundbite for you. There's an Eric Church song, and these are the words I live by. There's gonna come a day where all you have is your closest buddies sitting on a tailgate with a Bud Light, and all you have is your high school laurels. Really, when it comes down to between you and your buddy next to you,
that's what you get to. I didn't say it like Eric Church. He's got a way better way with words. But it's something like that. Pretty soon all we got is our boys and sitting on a tailgate, by a lake, chilling and just talking smack about high school and this and that. That's the stuff that really means anything, man.
And the type of stuff you'll remember forever.
Yeah.
So kind of going to the recruiting process side, for me, when I was getting recruited to play at Ohio State, it was at a young age, as soon as you graduate from middle school, that summer and going into freshman year was the time to get recruited. Every summer, June, July, you're at a tournament, college coaches on the sideline. It was stressful. What was kind of the recruiting process like for you?
My recruiting process, believe it or not, I got my first recruiting probe letter when I was in 7th grade.
7th grade?
The first time.
Wait, like your first offer?
Yeah, not offer. It was
like we're interested.
It was interest from UCLA, and I'll never forget getting a letter from UCLA. I lived in Washington. I was so excited. Like, I didn't know what it meant, but all I saw was the UCLA stamp showed up with my name on it. It wasn't even handwritten. Like, it was like a label, but I wasn't worried. Actually, no, it was handwritten. That I do remember. So it was sick, right? Recruiting started early for me. And then there was always speculation like, well, at 5'11", 6 foot, whatever. There's always
Rondo. Hey, I'm in the same boat. You always got to stay rocking those Air Force Ones.
Cool. Yeah, dude. I have like heel cups in at all. I wear Vapor Maxes and like everything.
Oh, you got to.
And it's all about positioning too. Like if you're standing like outside with your buddies, you always pick like the slant, like the uphill slant, just in case somebody looks over.
Every picture is you're rocking the tippy toes.
Yeah, for sure. Get in the back and then But anyways, yeah, there was speculation like, is he gonna be able to play at the next level at all at his stature? It's not athletic, blah, 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 all this stuff. But recruiting wise, going into high school, AAU is where it really picked up. I had, I think, 6 offers when I committed, and that was super early. For my class, I was, I think, maybe the 3rd or 4th player in the top 100 that committed. So I was I was right away going right after my sophomore year, coming off a state championship. West Virginia had been in from the start. They offered me, a year before that, and I took that offer, verbally committed, and then recruitment got kind of muddy. I think going into my final AAU 17U year was when I was already committed, but I played extremely well on the circuit. And then there was schools, and I'm not going to name names, obviously, but there was schools that reached out to my coach, like, how serious is he about West Virginia? We would like to see it. And that was kind of like a different perspective on the recruiting world. It's cutthroat out there. It's a scummy world. They might shake hands and hug at the end of the game, but they don't care about, taking somebody else's food off the plate. So
yeah, for sure.
But loyalty is a big thing for me, and I told Hugs I was coming when I was 17, and I stuck to it all the way through.
There we go. So how like you kind of hit on it there, how did you kind of narrow it down to West Virginia?
Culture. It was all based on culture. It was the hardest
spirit.
Yeah, dude. It was the hardest school. When I looked down my list of schools, like in terms of the route, and I based it off of coaching, play style, conference, and everything like that. And that's kind of what made up the culture of the universities that I was deciding between. Not that other, schools in my list didn't meet requirements. It was just, for me, West Virginia meant blue collar. It meant probably a 4-year path. It meant, being mentally tough or literally cracking. Like this program can break you if you're soft. And I'll say
it's a gritty place.
It's gritty. It is gritty. Dude, look at
Morgantown. Come on.
Yeah, I wish I could do an apartment tour. It is gritty. It's on my YouTube. Go check out my YouTube. But anyways, yeah, bro, it's gritty as hell. Hugs demands so much, but he's the most loyal dude in the world, and somebody that, kind of like with my boys, sitting on a tailgate somewhere in 20 years, I'll be able to do the same. I don't know if we'll be on a tailgate or a, porch somewhere, but I feel like I know that I'll always have, hugs to call on if I need something or just want to talk or see him. I mean, he's the man. I love him to death. Hate him some days and he hates me most days, but it's a love thing between us for sure, because I understand he wants best for me and the rest of our team, and the way he gets that out of you, it's a little unconventional. It shouldn't be recorded or listened to by young children, but it works, man. 800.
That's the best relationship to have, though.
Yeah, 850 wins. Dude's a legend. He's a legend
for sure. So off script, we kind of talked about how Ohio State football is canceled, and you're obviously from Wisconsin, born and raised. If Wisconsin gave you that offer to play there, would you have gone? Be honest with me.
Oh, man. If Wisconsin offered me, would I have went? I don't even want to get into our recruiting process, because I was at countless Badger games during the fall season, during recruiting time. Me and Tyler Hero were there. He had his fallout with Wisconsin. The way that, they do things is their way, and it works. They're Big Ten champions last year. Take my hat off to Coach Gard and everything he's doing. But as I'm dancing around your question right now, I don't know, man. I'm a hometown guy, but I felt like for sure, like I made a decision that was based on getting away, getting out in the world, seeing different places and different things. And I'm happy I did that. The relationships I've made here at West Virginia in my first 2 years have been ones that I'll cherish my whole life. But you never know, man. You never know. The future's not here today, and the past is already done. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna keep dancing. I'm tiptoeing around that. I'm not gonna give you shit.
No, you're good. Don't worry. A lot of nice quotes out of you today. I like that.
Hey, I got to get the sound bites out, because I want to be able to repost something, because people always see me doing your job, which is the harder job, is like preparing, knowing what you're going to ask, also being fluent and just like kind of being, whatever with it and having a conversation. But at the same time, I'm happy that I get to be on this side of the camera for a little bit. It's fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. So obviously getting to West Virginia that freshman year, was that a big change for you?
No, because we moved all over the place. When I was younger, I lived in South Carolina, like the southern part of South Carolina. So I got country blood in me a little bit.
Okay. You're a southern boy, like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can get down in the Georgia mud for sure. That's the funny thing about Virginia. Are you southern?
Yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, but I feel like more northern.
Dude, we're in this, like, because I'm obviously in West Virginia, whatever, that same area. When people call this the South, I'm like, you've never
They call West Virginia the South?
Yeah, for sure. It's a southern state, isn't it? No.
I don't know.
I don't know what we are. I don't know.
I don't know.
We're amazing.
I mean, come
We're
on.
an amazing group of people, I'll tell you that. We're fun to be around, but I don't know what we are either. But, like, Virginia's not really South. You know what I mean?
I know. I mean,
There's
especially
so
me, like,
much-
I'm only, like, 45 minutes from D.C., so I'm at the tip of Virginia. So that's why we say, like, we're northern.
Yeah. Are you from the DMV?
Yeah.
Dude, everybody who's from the DMV calls it like the DMV and like, oh, yeah, you're from the DMV. I'm from the DMV. Like, it's not like a cul-de-sac. Like, everybody makes it seem like it's just a little neighborhood. I'm like, dude, it's 3 different states, isn't it?
I know, yeah. Yeah, I mean, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. Yeah, the worst is, like, when you get a guy, he thinks the DMV is Delaware, Maryland, Virginia.
I'm not going to lie. I was that guy. I almost said that.
Really?
I'm glad I did it. Yeah. I never knew, but there's so many people, like, here at West Virginia who are from the DMV area.
Oh, yeah,
and
for sure.
They all I'm like, dude, did you all just grow up on the same street? I'm just confused why you're also like, everybody reps the DMV harder than anything. Like, everybody's always talking about it, at least here. I don't know.
Yeah. Last question here, kind of talking about basketball. For that first game freshman year, were you ready for that Big 12 kind of school spirit kind of conference or no?
Texas Tech at home.
Yep.
Yeah, I played 45 seconds and didn't play the rest of the game. I started. So Hugs, my first year, there were so many things that I needed to learn, and we had a falling out between our team and some guys on the team who, even though I love them to death, there was so many problems inner squad that, we were going through some stuff. We were going through growing pains. We didn't even win 20 games that year. Rough year, like one of the worst years in West Virginia basketball in a long time. But I got a chance to start, handful of games early on, and then by Big 12 play towards the end, I was playing and starting and kind of hitting my stride a little bit. But yeah, the first game was I'm nervous before every game, whether we're playing a mid-major school out of the Patriot League or we're playing Kansas at Kansas. Both of those teams, I've seen Patriot League teams beat Big 12 teams. It happens, and you have to be ready to play. But I was ready for it. I love everything that comes with it. There is a learning curve for sure that I've went through my first 2 years, but that's the kind of things that we talked about earlier. I'm built for the naysayers. I'm built for the people who are like, I told you, whatever. I mean, I got 2 more years of resume building to do, and I'm in a program where you gotta earn your stripes those first 2 years. You can be in the doghouse quick. I let a backdoor happen. Moretti for Texas Tech, going back to my first ever conference game. We forced backdoors, but I forced it, I guess, in the wrong way. I forced the backdoor cut. Moretti catches it, lays it up, 2-0. Texas Tech goes up. I'm thinking no big deal. Get the ball, bring it down, whatever. I think somebody kicks it out of bounds. We're about to do an out-of-bounds play on the other end. I look up the clock, and it's literally 45 seconds into the game, and then all of a sudden the horn goes off. I'm coming out, don't see the floor the rest of the night. I mean, I don't even know if I played the next game. It is, you want to talk about cutthroat. In our program, you got to be ready for anything. And that's how it should be, though, honestly. Yeah.
Like, those little experiences, like, you obviously know, like, you'll never do that again.
Yeah, 100. And he knows he's got a group of guys. He only recruits guys that can take it. That's it.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. And one of my last questions here before we kind of get into random talk, I get this question a lot, and you probably do. How do you kind of balance, being a Division I athlete, school, social, having a podcast, and having a YouTube channel?
How do I balance it? I got a lot of good people around me. I have a lot of smarter people than myself around me telling me, like, here's what you do. I confide in my parents. My dad, my mom kept my head on my shoulders, through years of ups, downs, and, great things, good things, bad things, all this stuff. But in terms of how I balance it, I really don't. I have no plan ever. Like, I just get up and go. Like, yeah, like, I want to write a book here in the next 2 years. I want to grow a podcast. I want to get into stand-up. I think, like, comedy is, like, the best thing in the world. I love listening to Bill Burr. Pete Davidson's my favorite thing. I want to be in a movie. I want to write scripts. Dude, I just do things. And, like, with no direction. That's the ADD. I'm unmedicated. I'm just a loose cannon. I'm a loose cannon out here, dude. So that's how I balance it, is I don't. Like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So many people are like, oh, God, what should I do? What if it doesn't work? Oh, what's my plan look like? Where am I going to be in 5 years? I don't know where I'm going to be in an hour. I probably have to be somewhere, but I don't know right now. So that's just how I roll, dude. I'm a loose cannon. I guess that's the only way to do it. And I don't know. It's worked so far. So
yeah, free flowing. I like that. But one question just popped in my mind because I remember, what's the end goal for you tattoo wise?
Tattoos. I want to finish my sleeve and make my mother hate me more than she already does.
You think you'll just finish that sleeve?
Yeah, dude, they're expensive, and I'm bad at money management. This is you want to talk about being a loose cannon. My buddy back here in his room, Sean, is he's my personal finance manager. No consultant. He doesn't manage my money, but he tells me, like, Jordan, that's a stupid purchase. You don't need that. And oftentimes I'll put it back. We'll be at Target and I'll, like, get a picture of, like, an ox, like a black and white picture to put out. He's like, dude, we don't need that. I'm like, you're right. I just saved my $74. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have issues. But
What's been the most outrageous, expensive purchase that you've actually like followed through with, and then looking back, you're like, dude, why did I buy this?
Dude, it's not outrageous. I bought a pair of Beats headphones on like spur of the moment. Great purchase, great investment. But I bought that and a MacBook coming into school off my like scholarship checks, and dude, a crackhead sold both of them, stole them right out of my car. There's some dude, and he took my shoes, team issued shoes. So
Really?
Yes, there's somebody walking around in Morgantown right now with team issued shoes and navy blue Power Beats.
Just stunting.
And a MacBook. If I see this person, I will get out of my car and I will sprint to them and drop kick them. I swear it's on site. I swear to you, it's on
Would
site.
you leave your car unlocked, or they break the window?
No, I left it unlocked, so I kind of deserved
Rookie
it.
move.
Yeah, definitely. So then I went and bought like another, like I bought a MacBook that I'm using now, which is a good purchase. Most outrageous. Dude, I'm bad with shoes. I'm really bad. We get shoes given to us, but for some reason I still feel like not keeping any money and just buying more. So I love Off-Whites. I love Nike Reacts, different like crazy shoes and stuff like that. But I don't know. I have money management issues. So tattoos, got off track. Tattoos, my sleeve's like a quarter of the way finished, like less than that. And the guy, shout out to my guy Jake, who does them for me. He's so good, but he's always booked up. So I have to wait till January now to get any more. But yeah, I'll just finish this arm. There's so many people in my life who, like, every time they see me in the chair, they're just like, you disappoint me on a great level, Jordan.
It's the hate. Comes back to mentally tough.
I'm mentally tough enough, but they're just like, you're so what are you gonna look? What happens when you're 80 with a sleeve? And I'm like, I don't know. I'll be hanging out with 80-year-olds with sleeves too, in a nursing home. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care either, because I'm 22, almost 22, and that just is what it is.
I like that. Well, let's go into our last segment here, Rando Talk. I'm gonna give you a word or a phrase, kind of give you back with kind of a quick good answer. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I don't know the game, but you might get.
You'll be fine. It's easy. Don't worry. All right, ready? Craziest DM you've ever got.
Oh, Lil Durk DM'd me on Twitter. Yeah.
Really?
Yo, and then not only that, but then he sent me like a touch to talk voice message, like through text. You know how you can record it?
Yeah, you can listen to it.
Yeah, bro. It was when I was like a senior in high school. He was like, bro, keep grinding, doing what you're doing. Like, I love it. I'm a Chicago boy. We're not too far away. And I'm a hooper at heart, even though I rap. And that was like the coolest thing. Lil Durk hit me up. Yeah, that's probably the best one.
Celebrity crush.
Olivia Mogan.
Come on. I knew you were going to say that.
I got to put my girl on. Every time I can, I got to put her on. You put it on put her on a pedestal.
If you could only live off one like condiment sauce for the rest of your life, what is it?
Chipotle ranch. Like any kind of like Chipotle ranch. Are you serious, dude?
That's that. To be honest, I've never had it. I've smelled it. It smells like.
No, dude. A Chipotle ranch goes like pretty much. Okay, maybe just ranch. Hidden Valley Ranch.
Ew. No, are you a ranch on pizza guy?
What?
Come on.
Oh my
That's
God.
disgusting.
I like a little bit of pizza with my ranch. You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's like with my brother. He'll dump a gallon of ranch on the whole pizza.
Dude, I'm pouring up. I love ranch.
All right, be honest with me here. If not West Virginia, then
here's a good one. Australia, overseas. I'd be playing. Listen. If not West Virginia, I would have went the NBL route and tried to play professionally over there for however long and see where that career takes me. A lot of guys go over there and then bounce back in the league and stuff. That was something I thought about, not gonna lie.
You ever think about like the JBA?
No. I love the Ball brothers. LaMelo's my boy.
You've always had like kind of short hair. You ever thought about getting long hair?
Well, yeah, like a flow.
Yeah, something.
Dude, my problem here, I can't do the flow because I have this like wiry hair. Like really straight, wiry. Like I would look like
thick hair? Oh, just go straight down.
Yeah, like it goes straight down, and it would be over my bangs, and it would be like, oh, my parents don't understand me type of deal. Slasher type. What I can't do that.
Just heavy metal, all this
Yeah,
dark
dude.
stuff, all black outfits.
Yeah, I'd have nail polish.
What's when you hop in the chair? What's the haircut? What do you tell the barber?
Mid bald fade, and then I just trim the top. So I had longer hair in high school, and it kind of did a little bit of what you got going on, but then this is just way easier to maintain. So I went, at least for this year, with the buzz. I think I'm gonna dye it like a color pretty soon, just because I'm bored and I have problems. So I'm gonna do that.
Okay, I like that.
Either like a light pink or like a bleachy like blonde.
I had that in high school, the blonde.
Yeah, my parents. God, I'm a disappointment even hearing myself talk.
Most overrated basketball player you've ever played with?
My dad. Listen, he's overrated because he hypes himself up. He always told me growing up, I'm the best defender you'll ever play, blah, blah, blah. By 7th grade, we couldn't even play one-on-one anymore because it turned into fist fights, and my mom was like, we're done.
I like that. You're a competitive cat. I like that.
I love Pops. He's not overrated. He's a bucket.
High socks on the court or all the time? No way.
Dude, what's up?
All the time?
No, not all the time.
Like when you're going out, this is another question too. When you're going out, what's your outfit?
I'm transitioning from, and I don't know anything about style, but I decided to date a girl. I decided to date a girl who does, and like she dresses me from like, this is what I would put on. Like it's a
50th birthday bash. Who's that? Your pops?
No, dude. This is TT. This is a funny story. This is my girlfriend's aunt. I love you, Aunt TT. And anyways, I wasn't even here. It's from 2006, but this is the stuff I would wear. And if I'm going out now, I'm gonna go like baggy streetwear type stuff because I'm like 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, whatever you want to pick.
Round up.
And you can't like, I can't wear like Tyler, my boy. Tyler Hero can wear anything because he's like 6'6", and he's like, he's got the skinny look going on, skater type look, whatever. He can rock whatever. I have to stick to like baggy streetwear now. And I used to do like the skinny jean type thing. But that was when I didn't know how to dress. I looked like an idiot. Thank God Liv saved me.
What's something you do we don't know about that's kind of embarrassing?
That's embarrassing? I try to write stand-up skits all the time.
Really? That's actually cool, though. I like that.
They're embarrassing because they suck.
Hit me with something. Let's go. Hit me with something. What do you got?
I'm not giving you any on everything. Like, I can't give you any right now, but there are some things like I'm constantly thinking because I listen to Bill Burr all the time. Like I watch his stand-up. I think he's so funny because he's just angry at everything. And I watch Pete Davidson a ton. Pete Davidson and Machine Gun Kelly are two guys I'm always like, I don't know. Pete Davidson puts them in his movies, and I think it's dope. But yeah, it's embarrassing because they're so unworked on and so raw, it's so terrible. And like Liv doesn't even laugh, and she's the funny one. And it's just, I'm working on it. All right.
You'll be all right. So last question here, what's the end goal for Jordan McCabe? So when you're 80 and your skin's sagging and that sleeve is looking beat, what do you want people to think of your kind of legacy?
On a serious note, my legacy, I want it to be what my grandfather's was. And my grandfather's legacy, who just passed away about a year ago, rest in peace to a amazing dude, Grandpa Bruce, was somebody who he was very free-spirited, just like myself. He might not have been as entertainment-based because of just the world he grew up in, but everybody loved him. He would give the shirt off his back to a person walking down the street that he had no idea who they were or what they were about. He was the hardest working dude I've ever met. That's what I strive to be. I want to be known as that dude who worked so insanely hard but never took himself too seriously, had so much fun, impacted lives. I want to kind of be this jack of all trades, but somebody who helps people, whatever they're going through. Like there's people I can name off the top of my head who do it for me, but it's all about right now. My Grandpa Bruce's legacy is something that I want to try to emulate. And he always told me this. He's like, you are an entertainer. Whether you're on the basketball court, whether you're behind a camera, like entertain people, have fun. So that's my legacy, I guess.
That's sick. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan, man, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. Where can the fans find you?
So all my socials are Jordan McCabe 5. Whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Now I'm also, I'm going to plug it, my Subject to Change pod. It is that right there at Subject to Change pod on Instagram. We just started a channel. So I'm going to move all my podcast material and content over onto that. That way it's just easier to follow and stuff like that. So go follow me, hit me up. Pelk, dude, you're really good at this. I enjoyed myself.
Thank you, man. Well, it was a great talk. Nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you, brother.